Welcome to the video, everybody, and today I am going to answer a subscriber question or two. So this question comes from Mattman22, and Mattman22 said, how do you use the Navionics app to determine where you're going to fish on a given day? Do you recommend using Navionics or mainly sticking to internet research and lake maps? Is Navionics worth paying for? So to start this off, first and foremost, I will tell you 100% Navionics is worth paying for. I'm a big fan of using the depth finder maps, the integrated maps. I upgrade to the chips and basically, put every possible advantage that I can in my favor. I use paper maps, I do Google Earth research, but I'm a big fan of Navionics. I have the Navionics app on my phone. I use it constantly, and a lot of times, I even hate to admit this, but there's been times when I have planned poorly and my depth finder battery has died on me, and I've actually reverted to using the Navionics app, and based on it showing where I'm at and looking at the contour lines, I've been able to catch fish just using the Navionics app. It's not what I would recommend being your go-to and your sole use. It eats up a lot of battery power, so if you're fishing a tournament, a lot of times I like to download the maps or screenshot them so I can refer back to them. But I absolutely, 100% recommend using the Navionics app. Okay, so to answer the question, how do I use it? Well, that varies. First and foremost, it depends on the time of the year. So I'll pick fall because it's fall right now, and say that one of the things that I'm looking for on the Navionics app is throats, right? I'm looking for places where bait fish are going to be funneled, whether that is shad or whether that's brim or pumpkin seed or, whatever the forage base is. I'm looking for places where the bait is going to be funneled. Now, if I'm fishing a drawdown lake, a lake where the municipality is going to draw it down for winter pool and things like that, then I'm going to be looking for stair-stepped or wedding cake, like we like to call them, flats, because as that water is drawn down and those crawfish recede, a lot of those big fish move up into those areas. So what I would look for is I would look for a creek channel. I really like creek bends and near a flat on a drawdown lake. But if I'm fishing a bigger lake, I'm going to be using Navionics to figure out where those fish are going to stage. Now, I'm looking for humps near bends. I'm looking for humps near a shoreline. I like a tapered shoreline with some offshore cover and some type of structural change. So if I've got a tapered shoreline, a point, an edge of a shoreline that tapers, a long bluff wall or something along those lines, and then the first piece of cover on structure that I can find. And what I mean by structure, a lot of people use those terms interchangeably. Cover is something that's temporary, structure is something that's permanent, right? So a hump, right? If I can find a stump or a brush pile or a treetop or a rock even on a hump, and a hump is anything that's basically on all sides, it's deeper, and in the middle is shallower. It could be a plateau, a flat style hump. It could be a round hump, and everything doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical. A lot of times I find humps that cascade up and then drop back off on the other side. It's still a hump. And so depending on the type of water you're fishing, depending on the scenario, whether you have current, whether you have turnover is happening, if fall sets on quickly and the cold weather is overnight lows are really cold and the lake is turning over fast, that's all going to factor in. But I absolutely use Navionics, and I really like to find those things that make me confident, okay? So before I go out on the water and I sit there with my cup of coffee, an hour before I leave the house, or 2 or 3 days before going on a fishing trip, and I'm doing my research and I'm taking screenshots and I'm like writing notes on the graphic of what I was thinking when I found that. Or maybe I find it on a map and then I go find that on Navionics and zoom in and screenshot that little piece and decide exactly how I'm going to do it, how I'm going to approach fishing that. Like for example, if you have current and the water's getting colder, a lot of times I won't fish the rise side of a hump. I'll fish the fall side, meaning that current's going to come up over the top of it and it's going to create a little bit of a dead band, a little bit stiller water, and a little bit less turbidity, and a lot of times a little clearer water. That way those fish are going to sit up in there and pile up. So to answer the question, Mattman22, I'm a big fan of the Navionics app. I use it in every aspect of fishing. Pre-trip planning, I use it in developing strategies. I also use it while I'm on the water, and more importantly, when I go fishing and I get off the water, especially if I don't catch fish, I use the Navionics app, my electronics on my depth finder, my maps to go back over. What could I have done different? How could I have been more successful? What few catches that I have could I attribute to what was going on? And why did I not stick with that pattern, or did I make the right adjustment? You know, all of those things come into play. But I think all 4 phases of fishing, pre-trip planning, you know, on the water, after you get off the water, and then the assessment of all 3 of those together help you become a better angler. And so for me, Navionics plays a critical role in that, and I'm a big fan. So anyway, hope you guys like this video. Smash that thumbs up button. Ask another question in the comment section below. I'm gonna start doing a lot more of these videos, start changing the flavor of the channel, because I want this to be more educational and entertainment, infotainment, if you will. And so I'll see you guys next time.